Heyo, welcome to Studio B of our CHGO offices here in the West Loop of Chicago for CHGO Bets Daily. I am your host, Sean Anderson. Alongside me, my partner in degeneracy, Cody Delmendo. You can follow him at Cody_CHGO. You can follow me at Sean_W_Anderson. You can follow the show at CHGO_Bets. We are being produced today by the one, the only, and for, this doesn't happen often. A rare appearance.
I don't even know who you guys are. I know you just said your names.
I didn't even introduce you and your mic's on.
I know. Talking already.
The one, the only, Law Dog. Ho, ho, ho.
Oh, it's so great to be back in this chair.
You can do that actual noise too, but
I'm glad that Cody actually did it. Okay, do we have the dog sound effect, or is that only at your house?
I don't know where that is. It's been so long, my friends.
It has been so long. And honestly, since our last show, we've gone stupid. We've gone dummy. We've gone insane. Cody and I, 2 years ago, started as novice bettors, not knowing a single thing. As we get a dislike. What's wrong with you people?
That's so rude.
I know. They're just haters.
I swear, like, what's the point? But
what's the point
of coming in, just hitting the down, like the downvote? Like, do you? Well, I'm just convinced they hate us.
No, the point is the reason why
it must be me.
You know, it must be you. Did you do it?
Is it me? No, I mean, like, do they hate me?
Yeah, they might, and honestly, it might be a Lawrence dislike.
That's very rude. I'm very sad.
Here's the thing, though. Cody and I came to you 2 years ago as bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, novice bettors, and we have become hardened, hardcore, serious gamblers. We are the best of the best. We are the cream of the cap. That's a little
the cream
bit of
the
stretch.
cap makes sense.
Well, because there's cappers, right? So it's kind of a playoff cappers.
I don't know what
the cream of the crop, cream of the cappers. Like
cappers.
Yeah,
like handicappers.
Yeah, like handicappers.
Okay.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's just insane the run that we're on. I think it's over 10-2-2 in the past. Since Thursday, it's been insane.
We've had a good stretch, guys.
I gotta be honest. I wish I was
hotter than hell.
Better job.
I gotta take my glasses off for this. You know what's annoying though is you can go on a hot stretch, but you know what? The people will still bring you down for all the ones you're wrong for. Like some guy on Instagram today was like, "Aren't you the idiot who said the Bears would go 12-5? Now you're saying the Buccaneers were going to beat the Eagles?" Even though I didn't say the Buccaneers were going to beat the Eagles, I thought maybe they'd cover the 5.5, and I was wrong.
Yeah, they did.
But you know what? I went 2-1 yesterday. Give credit where it's due, folks. Give credit where it's due. Okay, my rant is over now. Glasses back on.
I liked it. It's
primetime unders 9-2 in 2023. It's not a bit.
It's not a bit.
It's not a bit. Just bet it.
The only time I bet it, I lost. So hey, there you go. Just got to stick with it.
I also tailed the one time it lost. Yeah.
Hey, the Vikings suck. I think we can say that. This is a podcast that hates the Minnesota Vikings. I didn't bet on them this week. I bet against them, and I won money fading the Vikings and taking the Chargers. So let's go. But whatever. Today's a new day. We got MLB for you.
Shout out to James Orlando.
We got
shout out to James Orlando.
We got NFL to talk about, and we got NCAA to talk about. And shout out to James Orlando. He's always sliding into the DMs, and he's here. Won 300 plus on Bears flash prop Sunday. Hey, live betting can be very profitable if you know what you're doing. If you see a vision, yeah, that's true. If you see
betting on the Bears to punt back-to-back drives. But throw an interception, yeah.
That could be a fun game. Just every single drive on Sunday for the Broncos and Bears. Just bet it every drive to end in a punt.
Yeah. I like that idea.
Hey, you probably would money.
Could be a play.
But shout out to James Orlando. Shout out to Jordo. Do you want to get into the Cubs? Do you want to save the Cubs for last? I know you're probably most focused on football.
For this show, yeah. But I do have the hit parlay. Do you want to save it for now or later? I feel like I can just give it real quick.
Why don't you give it real quick? Because Jordo's in here. You're wearing the Cubs stuff. I know this is a tense day. I know you got a pregame building up here.
He's very tense week. I'm a little concerned about Cody. He's already acting as if they lost 4-6, not won 4-6.
Yeah. Well, they're coming off a sweep. And I had a good off day yesterday. You know why? Because the Cubs didn't play.
There you go. Cubs didn't break your heart, so that's a win.
Yeah. They go to Atlanta tonight. The hit parlay, let's just get to it. We're going Seiya Suzuki because he's been the hottest hitter on the planet since August 1st. Mike Tauchman because he's been very solid the last 12 games. and Miles Mastrobuoni, who's been a pleasant surprise to many in Cubs land. Been very productive his last week. The Braves are a much better team than the Pirates or the Rockies, obviously, but I'm just riding with the three guys who have been doing stuff. So plus 250 when you use that 25% boost on DraftKings Sportsbook. If you don't want to do Seo or Tauchman, you want to feel a little bit better, maybe throw in Cody Bellinger in there. I think he's going to have a big series. The stars show up for a big series. So
I like Swanson too.
Revenge narrative. Yes.
Jordo said, yeah, let's go Swanson, baby. That's the one thing is I do like the Cubs in this spot. I don't know if that hurts you. Braves being like a minus 150 favorite, though. Cubs need this. Braves are really only playing for home field advantage, and you're getting the Cubs' best pitcher. I know he hasn't been hot, but also Steele's been very consistent in 2023. You expect a pitcher like that, of that caliber, to bounce back at some point.
And got an extra day, I believe, of rest because of the off day. So,
and I think he pitched against them earlier this year.
He did, and he was good. He was good. Gave him 6 innings.
Hell of a lineup. So that's
yeah. It's tough. It's tough, but yeah, no.
They won 6-4, so I'll take it.
The Cubs did win the series when the Braves came to town. I don't mind dabbling on Cubs money line tonight just because the Cubs need to win the game and the Braves don't care.
And Elder's been a guy that last 2 starts have been tough. He was a guy that early season people were kind of like, how the hell is this guy having this good of success? And I think we're kind of seeing some of that regression here, especially with a guy who I think is only 24. He pitched a little bit last year, but only threw 54 innings. This is a guy that's hitting the top of his cap when it comes to pitching workload. So I think Elder is a guy that could absolutely be a regression candidate. I'll take the Cubs on the money line. So I think that's an interesting play. And also, too, this game's happening on the south side. We don't have to talk much about it. Luis Robert Jr. hits the IL. There's only 6 games left. It's 10-day IL. His season's over. He's the only player ever, 26 or younger, to have 35 homers and 35 doubles in less than 600 plate appearances. Baseball has been played for a very long time. Babe Ruth didn't even do this. Luis Robert Jr. is the only player ever. So a great season ended, but him being taken away from the White Sox means that the worst team in baseball just got worse. There is no hope for this team. There is no future. Diamondbacks have a future. Diamondbacks have a hope and a prayer to try to get into the playoffs. And yes, Zach Davies' ERA is near 7. But what this guy is done in the league for 5, 6, 7 years, I don't know how long he's been in the league, too long. He gets ground balls. He's paid to get ground balls. The White Sox love to hit ground balls. And they're going up against Jose Urena. Diamondbacks first 5 money line with a boost from not a DraftKings Sportsbook, but a different sportsbook, has a 50% boost on any MLB bet, and you could take that minus 140 up to plus 107. I can get the Diamondbacks, a good team, versus the White Sox, a bad team, for plus money? Okay. Yesterday, the Angels were up 1-0 against the Rangers, and I bet the Rangers with my live DraftKings Sportsbook 50% boost on the money line. Huh?
I love those.
Yeah, up to plus 165. The Rangers, a good team, beat the shit out of a bad team, the Angels. Who would ever thought? So even though you might not like baseball in September, there's a lot of angles to bet on live baseball or even on baseball because nobody's really betting on baseball right now.
Right.
So it's a pretty inactive market. So I like the Cubs tonight. I think that they get a win, especially with Steele on the mound.
Parlay, Cubs money line, and Diamondbacks first 5. There you go. Or just Diamondbacks money line, but that'll be less odds. But the plus money from the Cubs might still be decent odds. But anyway, shall we talk football?
Let's talk football. You want to do NCAA?
Yeah. So like last week, I gave out 3 early picks. Last Tuesday, I gave out 3 early picks. Went 2-1 on those 3 picks. The under in Utah and UCLA, it was at 51.5. The final score was 14-7, folks. You could have done
Sean.
You could have done an alternate total of less and get plus money on it. I'm never going to do that in college sports, but you could have if you want to. Texas and Baylor, I want to say. Yes, the under was, when I took it, was at 51.5. It closed at 48.5, and it didn't matter. It still went under.
Did you see that was on Bad Beats last night? The way that under stayed and under.
I did not. No.
I want to say it was 38-6.
Yeah.
In the third quarter, possibly. All I know is Baylor was down inside the 5, and obviously they're down 38-6, so they're not kicking a field goal on 4th down, so they failed on 4th down from like the 4-yard line. And then Texas also had the ball down there, and they decided to go for it instead of kicking a field goal, and so they failed as well. So like it was a little you were sweating even though you didn't pay attention and watch.
Yeah. Well, it was one of those that I told people to just place it and not watch it because it's going to be boring because Baylor can't do anything without Blake Shapen out there.
There you go. You were right.
And if you would have taken it early, you probably wouldn't have sweat as much because, it closed at 48.5. And then, okay, the one I lost, and I still can't believe this game went over, Oklahoma State and Iowa State. It went over before halftime. I was like, what? These teams suck. These teams don't know how to put up points. And it was like, they had well over 30 points at halftime. I was like, what the hell's going on?
Oh, you want to talk terrible halftime under bets? I bet the under in Washington Cal.
Oh.
It was 30.5.
Yeah.
And I thought Cal would not be able to do anything, but Washington was up, I believe 14-0 without even having a play.
Without playing a snap, yeah. The first half line, I believe, for that team was Washington to cover 14.5, and they didn't take a defensive step and almost covered the first half spread with like 5 minutes passing. That's a tough bet. I mean, what they put up like 42 in the first half alone.
That's a bad bet by law.
But anyway, I went 2-1, and then overall my college football weekend was solid. Like we kind of started with the show. I think I went 5-1 and 2. I had 2 that pushed. Memphis +7. They lost by 7, so push. And another spread that didn't have the hook that pushed. I can't remember. But overall, a very profitable college football weekend. So I'm taking some momentum into these 3 games I'm about to give you. Let's start with the Friday one. Utah and Oregon State, going back to the Utes. The Utes have been very profitable. We're going under 45. The Utes are 4-0 on the under this year. They still haven't played Cam Rising. They keep telling us that, he's probably going to play, and then he doesn't play. All right. Utah, again, 4-0 on the under, and it opened at 48.5. It's down to 45. I would still play it at 45. And the reason being is Utah is tied for 9th nationally in total defense, 6th in scoring defense, and 3rd in rushing defense. So I think they'll be able to stop the run. And the transfer from Clemson, I want to say, how you say his name? Ugalele?
Oh, DJU?
DJ Uiagalelei.
I can't say his fucking name. The transfer from Clemson, he's just been a mixed bag to me. Like, Utah State's good, but in their last game, 17 for 34 against Washington State, and then against San Diego State, 14 for 30. So his completion percentage hasn't been great. And I think with Utah's really good defense, I don't know. I think it'll be close. I think Utah State's a solid team, and I think this will be close, especially if Cam Rising doesn't play again. But 45 points, I think that this is going to be just a grinded out game for Utah like it was against Utah State. Again, 21 combined points against that UCLA team that has honestly, in my opinion, been a bit of a surprise considering how many pieces they've lost, and they've been pretty good. They were ranked going into that game against Utah. So, and this is like the first real road test for Utah as well. I know they played Baylor, but that was without Blake Shapen for Baylor at quarterback. So to me, this is Utah's first real test, and to me, their defense is great. It's all about will they be able to put up enough points. And so again, under 45, I think that's a solid bet. Now I could see it going lower before Saturday or before Friday. The next game, we're going the Raging Cajuns, Louisiana Lafayette +11, open at 9.5 against Minnesota, and it got all the way up to 13 because it's Minnesota. Which I don't understand why it went up because it's Minnesota.
Who just lost to Northwestern.
Who just lost to Northwestern. And I wish I would have got it at 13, but the line has moved so much in just a few days. Minnesota's 3-7 against the spread in their last 10 games. The dumbest decision you can ever make is betting on PJ Fleck. I'm sorry. I think the Raging Cajuns are they're consistently one of the better teams in the Fun Belt year in and year out. I wouldn't take it below 10, but I also wouldn't be surprised if it falls back down again just based off how the line has moved. So I would get it while it's still in double digits because there is no trust in PJ Fleck in this Minnesota team that just I mean, they barely beat Nebraska in the most disgusting season opening game of the season. They looked real bad against UNC and that bad defense that they have. And like, again, they lost to Northwestern. They gave up 30 plus points to Northwestern. I don't get it. I don't get why they're huge favorites other than the fact that Louisiana Lafayette's a like Group 5 school or whatever they're called. And Minnesota's a Big 10 school. So I'm riding the Raging Cajuns.
The boat has a leak.
Yes.
Row that boat.
Row that
leaky boat.
Yes.
I mean, he rode that boat straight into an iceberg last Saturday.
Right. And then my final early pick, Oregon and Stanford under 61.5, opened at 62.5. Oregon has been really good defensively. Credit to you, Sean.
Don't bring it up.
You were I don't know. Well, you were right about Oregon minus 21, okay? You got that right.
I didn't bet it, though.
You didn't bet it? Oh,
No.
my God. You were like hammering it for like the entire week. I thought you had already placed the bet.
So what I have told people, I had 4 best bets. I went 3-1 on college football, and I said under in Alabama, Notre Dame. It was under 56.5.
Yeah, and it went way under.
Ohio
under.
State.
Ohio State.
What a brutal loss, by the way. I'm sorry.
Gave Ole Miss, Alabama, under 56.5. Went way under again. There were 34 points. Ole Miss didn't even show up. Took Western Kentucky, plus 3.5. A little bit of a sweat, but they covered. And then I gave out the fucking Oregon Ducks, who had so much fucking ammo. Had Colorado stepping on that goddamn U. Had Shiloh Sanders?
It's an O.
Shiloh Sanders
Whatever.
screaming, calling them nothing. This team didn't know what Colorado was a year ago. And Dan Lanning screaming, saying, we're here for wins, not clickbait. We're going to play a full 60. His team was up 42 to nothing. Had a chance to get into the end zone on 4 tries in goal territory. You're up 42 to nothing. Okay. And you're talking about playing a full 60 and you don't score and then you take out your starters? That's not a full 60. You played a full 45. You're a fucking liar. You choked. Dan Lanning sucks. I don't trust him with my money, and I'm so mad. I said they put up a 50 spot on Colorado.
Oh, you had the team total. That's why.
I had the team total of 45.5, and they scored 42. What? And they should have scored 49, and I'm fucking pissed.
I've
been holding on to this for 4 days, and I'm still mad.
Yeah, it's
I still took Oregon minus 21, which was
But
never
you're still wearing Oregon green, though, which is nice.
Yeah.
I'm wearing money green.
Okay.
Anyway, I like the under here just because Oregon's defense has been one of the best in the country. 11th in total defense, 11th in yards per play allowed, 10th in passing yards allowed, 33rd in rushing yards allowed. Going up against Colorado, Stanford. Oregon and Stanford here. A Stanford team that I don't know. I feel like the reason I don't want to go to Oregon, I think they're 27-point favorites. The reason that I honestly would lean Stanford is because I just envision some sort of letdown. But I want to wait and see if that number gets to 28 instead of 27. But I think the under at 61.5. Like I just don't know if Stanford will put up the points. So those are my 3 picks. Oregon, Stanford under 61.5, Raging Cajuns plus 11, and Utah under 45. Utah and Oregon State. Thank you.
I like that too because both those teams are runners. DJU has been kind of taking a backseat, but also I think they scored 3 rushing touchdowns. I think they're back at 100 yards and 3 touchdowns. So, they're able to move a little bit. I think it was surprising though that Washington State put as many points as they did up against Oregon State. I'm just looking at that team more seriously than ever. I really thought Oregon State would be a competitor for the Pac-12 this year with DJU. I thought Utah might be, but I feel like Utah is going to lose at some point. They might get upset here by Oregon State if Oregon State can play enough clock control. I really like Washington State to possibly pull up an upset here. I mean, I don't know if Washington State plays USC. They likely play Washington in the Apple Cup. I think they could take down a top 5 team this year, and one of those teams will be a top 5 team when they take on each other. The one college bet I have, and I don't know if I'm going to take it yet. I might wait because I think we might get a half point. Duke is hosting the Fighting Irish.
Yes,
it's at plus 5.5. I don't know why.
Game day's there. Mike Elko is a defensive stud. Riley Leonard is a veteran quarterback, a good quarterback. And Sam Hartman,
It's been fine, but I really don't trust Notre Dame. I think that a lot of these early season wins were against bad teams, and you saw what they really did against a good defense. They could not move the ball. They could not run the ball. They could not get any leverage on Ohio State's defensive line. I think Duke is going to be able to absolutely slow down Notre Dame. I think this is going to be a slow game, and I think it's going to be decided by a field goal. The only way I get screwed is if this goes into overtime and, something wacky happens there. Yeah. But plus 5.5, and it seems like a little bit more money is on Notre Dame. If this is plus 6, I'm hammering Duke. Duke at home.
Yeah.
Notre Dame coming off this tough loss where they feel like they probably should beat Ohio State. I think Duke at least covers the number.
Ideally, I would rather take it at 7, and I'm hoping that more public money comes in and hammers Notre Dame just for the fact of the whole like bounce back narrative, perhaps just because they, I know you're a Notre Dame guy and like, you're down because that loss was brutal. Like I felt for Notre Dame fans at the end of that game. And so maybe because they played so well against that Ohio State team, maybe people think that they will bounce back in a big way. I don't know. I personally won't touch it unless it gets to 7. I would take Duke plus 7, but right now I'm staying away. Just because like that's such an important number. Like yeah, you're right. I could see it being a field goal game, but I don't know. I don't know. But Duke was very impressive against Clemson, Clemson did look a lot better against Florida State this weekend. They were at home, but whatever. But I don't know. Duke has been an impressive team this year. I can't believe I'm saying that. And we're talking about college football, but they're pretty good. So I mean, I don't blame you for wanting to take Duke. Like my first reaction when I saw the line was I want to take Duke, but I don't know. I thought despite the loss, Notre Dame looked like I don't think their chances at going to the college football playoff were hurt. They're going to play USC later.
No, I mean if
their schedule's tough.
If they win out, they're going to the playoffs. I'm not saying that, and I'm not saying they'll even lose to Duke on Saturday. But I mean, you call me a Notre Dame guy. It's like I just know how much pain this team causes me, and it's just like that was the same fucking end zone that the Bush push happened in. You just saw it lining up, and I told my partner. Like what was happening, like, oh yeah, Notre Dame's up, but Ohio State has the ball on the 1. And she was like, oh, I'm sorry.
She's like,
she just knew that Notre Dame was losing.
She's like, aren't they supposed to have 11 guys on the field?
No, she wasn't even looking at the TV.
I'm just kidding.
No, I know, but that's the thing. It's just like, it's annoying when you're just like, oh yeah, they're gonna lose, and it's like you haven't even looked at the game. You haven't even you don't know what's happening. How do you know they're gonna lose the game? You can't even name a player on Ohio State. You can't even name a player on Notre Dame. You never heard of Marcus Freeman, and it's just like it's annoying that she's right.
I will say this: I feel like Notre Dame's pass defense will be pretty good against this team. So I love the Riley Leonard rushing prop whenever it comes out, whatever it is, consider it. Against Clemson, 8 carries, 98 yards. Northwestern, 13 carries, 97. Last week against UConn, only 4 carries for 30 yards. But, like, he is mobile. Like, I think against a team like Notre Dame, he's going to have to be able to get yards on the ground for them to move the ball. Because the one thing you can take away from that game for sure, Sean, is that their defense was for real. Because to hold that Ohio State offense down, even though, like, I'm not a huge believer in, what's his name, McCord, whatever.
He looked McTerrible.
Like, he wasn't. Absolutely. Marvin Harrison Jr. looked great and the handful of catches that he had. But, like, I thought it was impressive that they slowed down Ohio State's offense, considering what it had done the last handful of weeks after the Indiana game. So,
but, like, I get it, but I just think Duke's been so impressive. Leonard and Elko have been together for 2 years now, and you just look at their wins. Last year they started off beating Temple by 30. Then they handled NU. Then they stomped, I think, a D2 team. Then they lost to KU with a healthy Jaden Daniels, and I think they covered the spread. It was 35-27. Then they stomped UAV, lost to Georgia Tech by 3 in overtime, lost to 3 by UNC, stomped Miami, beat BC by 7, stomped VT, lost to Pitt by 2, beat Wake, covered and stomped UCF in the Military Bowl. I think they're 4-0 against the spread this year already. And I know they haven't played great teams outside of Clemson. I just really think they're hot. I don't know. I think that, Marcus Freeman and Sam Hartman have a lot to just go through and get through. Mike Elko and Riley Leonard have done that. I like them at plus 5.5. Let's go to take a break, and then we'll talk a little NFL and we'll wrap this up. We're back with another week of football, and DraftKings Sportsbook is keeping us in on the NFL action with great offers every single game day. New customers can bet $5 and get $200 instantly in bonus bets. Throw $5 down on any game this week's any of this week's epic. Throw $5 down on any of this week's epic matchups to walk away an instant winner. And DraftKings isn't stopping there. All customers can take advantage of 2 new offers every game day this September. Football's more fun when you're in on the action, so download the app now and sign up with code CHGO. New customers can bet just $5 to get $200 instantly in bonus bets. Only at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL with code CHGO. The crown is yours. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.1800gambler.net. In New York, call 877-HOPE-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 48. It says 6 or an 8. 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly on behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort. Licensee partner, Golden Nugget, Lake Charles, Las Vegas, Louisiana. 21 plus, age varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. See sportsbook.draftkings.com/football for eligibility terms and responsible gambling resources. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. Eligibility and deposit restrictions apply. I got to pre-record that verbatim.
We need to start doing that.
I know we do, but it's... What do I show?
We'll just do peas and carrots. You just play it, and I'll just look at Vinny and Herb or Cody and just go peas and carrots, peas and carrots, peas and carrots, peas and carrots, peas and carrots. We can make it like a little bit like those medication ads. Where they play the disclaimers really fast, and they're just showing people just smiling and happy. Yeah. Maybe I can hold up some cash because of like a gambling thing. We could steal from the Stan Bowman thing. I'm not on that show.
Sure, yeah.
I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Yeah. Okay, good call. Okay.
All right. I got one major NFL lean.
Okay.
One major NFL lean. And I don't know if this number has gotten to
Broncos
3.
-3?
No, I honestly like the Bears, and that means I'm just not betting on that game.
I do too, and I probably will not bet on it either.
How the fuck is the team that just gave up 73.5 point road favorites? I know that the Bears suck. Don't get me wrong, but I also know that Justin Fields is the fastest person on that field. So if I'm the coach, I'm going to say, hey, all 10 of you are going to block for the fast guy, and you just have to knock someone on their ass. Like, I don't know. I think it seems really simple to score on the Broncos. Just run faster than them.
Have you seen the Bears offense?
Have you seen the Broncos defense?
It should be better. I mean, they're the best cornerback in the league, but
I'll stay away from that game.
Same.
Dolphins is at +3. If this gets to +3.5, smash it. I'm probably going to take it at +3. They're going into Buffalo. I get it. They just dropped 70. I think that people will probably stay away from them for that reason. This team seems focused. This team seems motivated. This team seems energized. This team seems to be legit. I'm not buying in on the Bills. Ken Dorsey is a clown. Ken Dorsey is lucky that he's been able to put up. I think they've outscored their opponents like 75-13 in their last 2 games. You saw it in that Monday night game. If he's going up against a real defense, he is going to get clowned. And he is going to get clowned on Sunday. The Miami Dolphins are going to go into Buffalo and win this game. Take it at +132 on the money line. I'll take the +3.5 when it comes out because people are stupid and they're going to take the Bills.
I think it's kind of a trap. Like how the team just put up 70 and they're 3-point dogs, and they're a road underdog, divisional underdog. I personally don't know how to bet it right now, but I mean, yeah, I look at it and I want to take the Dolphins. They just put up 70. Like
they look like the real deal.
Yeah,
right.
But it's Buffalo's still Buffalo.
Buffalo at home is pretty good.
I think this line should be. It should be strictly home field advantage. This line, they're getting an extra 1.5 because I think power ratings think that the Bills are better than the Dolphins. I don't think.
Well, the Bills.
You put them on a neutral field. I think the Dolphins get 3 points.
Well,
I know it was the Commanders, but the Commanders going into yesterday's game was 2-0.
Who they beat?
I don't remember their schedule.
No, yeah, they beat the Cardinals
and the Broncos.
And the Broncos, yeah.
Okay. Hey,
And
2-0 is. We wish the Bears were.
I'm not saying that, but if they played the Broncos and the Cardinals in the first 2 weeks, it might be a different season.
And the Bills lost to the Jets without Aaron Rodgers on it, or they actually did lose to the Jets without Aaron Rodgers, and they've been better since then. I don't know. Like, it's again, divisional games. They get, because the teams know each other so well, they can be wacky. So right now, I think the Dolphins at +3, it's like you see it and it's just like, is this a trap or the Bills this good? And that's kind of the way I looked at the what was it, the game this past Sunday?
Colts Ravens?
No.
I don't know.
I can't remember. When I made the video, it was one of the games I bet on Sunday.
Browns, Texans.
No,
I mean Browns, Titans, or Texans, Jaguars. The Vikings game against the Chargers, because that game was a weird one.
No. Is this a trap? I can't remember. But there was one where I thought, was it the Lions?
Lions Falcons.
Lions Falcons. No. I don't know.
It was one of those games.
Saints and Packers.
No,
Let's just name all the
I mean, I
games.
hate the Packers, but thank you for winning, because that won me money. 18 points in the fourth quarter. I don't know. Either way, I still feel like it's kind of a trap to take the Dolphins right now. But if all this like money came in on the Bills and it pushed the line, which I don't think it will, but maybe I would take it at this point. But the one pick or the one game that I'm looking at right now as far as the NFL, obviously I've already placed the under on Lions Packers Thursday night. It's at 46. It opened at 46.5. So again, primetime unders are 9-2 in 2023, folks. I'm just saying. All right.
I feel like that game's going in the 30s. Because I want to bet it right now.
I know I'm betting. I know.
Well, Aaron Jones and Christian Watson are probably going to be back. Like, the Packers are going to have a lot more weapons for sure. But again, the only thing that makes me think it still could go under is divisional game, short week for both these teams.
Goff's not in the dome.
Even though it's going to be nice in Green Bay anyway because it's not December. But still, like, he doesn't play as well outside as he does in the dome. And also, like, I thought the over was a lock between the Lions and the Falcons on Sunday because both teams have been putting up a ton of points. And of course, it goes way under. I don't know. And I don't expect Christian Watson to be incredible when he comes back. He hasn't played at all this year. Same thing for Aaron Jones. He had the hamstring injury. You expect him to be 100% even though he hasn't played the last couple of weeks? I don't know. I do think that the Packers offense will look better with them there, but honestly, since week 1 against the Bears when they put up 30-some points, the Packers offense has been meh. They put up 18 points in the fourth quarter yesterday to barely beat the Saints. And I thought that the Packers should have, even without Aaron Jones and Christian Watson, I thought that they should have won that game, honestly, easily, because the Saints they haven't been very impressive to me.
And the only reason they won was because Carr goes out.
Yeah.
Carr doesn't go out, they win that game.
Probably, yeah.
Because, Jameis is Jameis. We know Jameis. Right.
However, that's my primetime lean right now. But when I look at Sunday's slate, look ahead right now, I'm looking at Commanders +8 against the Eagles. It's disgusting. Like, I want to plug my nose and place.
Why? What about what you just saw from Philly makes you want to bet against
because
them?
The Eagles just aren't impressive yet. There's like Jalen Hurts is still they're like their new offensive coordinator and everything. Like, dude, they have benefited from their defense getting a ton of turnovers. All right, and
sure, fucking Sam Howell. I don't even know the dude's name.
Remember last year whenever the Commanders beat the Eagles?
I guess I don't.
Divisional games are weird, dude. I'm not placing it right now. I'm just saying, like, I'm looking at it, and if it goes up any higher, I'm gonna take it.
Okay. God bless.
The Eagles are gonna win that game. I just think it will be close. I do think it will be close.
We'll see. We'll see how the line moves, and we'll regroup tomorrow.
There you go.
To Sean's point, again, I want to plug my nose when I place the bet. All right. So it's not like my favorite play, but when looking at the board right now, it's like God damn it! I'm gonna bet on Sam Howell on Sunday. I know I'm gonna do it.
I guess my
Like I know I'm gonna do it. Like everything says I shouldn't, but I know I'm gonna do it. I know I'm gonna do it.
if this will help, I think my lean right now, looking at the board, I think I'm leaning towards the Bucks. So if that helps,
I also like
I'll lay it with the Bucks going to New Orleans.
If you want a better pick, I do like the Browns -2.5 against the Ravens. I've been impressed by the Browns. I can't believe I'm saying it, but
Browns defense is good.
They've looked good. Like they should have won the game against Pittsburgh, but they dominated the Titans. They dominated the Bengals week 1, even though Burrow wasn't healthy, and the Bengals really just haven't looked impressive at all this year so far. But this Ravens team, like they were like what 9-point favorites against the Colts last week, and like I don't believe in the Ravens.
I bet the Colts. I saw that shit coming. I pictured them winning by a Justin Tucker field goal. So when he missed that one by 61, I was like, oh, I'm not a witch. I didn't get it perfectly right, but like that one is very weird because I think it opened Ravens -4. Like the look ahead line was -4, and now after them losing to the Colts and the Browns doing what they did to the Titans, there's been so much money that now the Browns are -2.5. So like I'm now questioning, like, is there too much on the Browns?
Or maybe there's an injury that I haven't read up on yet.
No, I think like half the Ravens are injured anyways. I mean, I know OBJ was out last week. Yeah. They've lost like every running back that's started for them. Ronnie Staley was out last week. Right? Yeah, so I mean they are pretty banged up. But like Nick Chubb just got his leg taken off.
That's fair.
But Watson also looks apparently more comfortable in the pocket with each week. So if they have a defense at a quarterback, I mean that's a lot more important than having a running back and a quarterback.
Yeah. Anyway, well, more NFL tomorrow.
Yeah, we've been talking for 38 minutes.
This is the longest bet show we've done in.
I'm back. You guys just want me around, don't you?
We did a 38-minute show last week, so we're just degenerates and we love talking about gambling. Check out Cody on Cubs pregame that's starting in I guess like 15 minutes. You can follow him at Cody_CHGO. You can follow Bets at CHGO_Bets. Thank you all for hanging out with us, except that one person who disliked us. Shout out to James Orlando and shout out to the Law Dog for producing our show. You back tomorrow?
Back tomorrow.
No, this is the one time only. I'll be back in 3 months.
All right, goodbye forever.
See ya.
See you later. Bye.